Hey guys, I'm just going to make this real quick video on the Heckler and Koch USP45. I recently got this through a trade. I got rid of my 1911 and wanted to get into an HK, so that's what I did. I'm making this video kind of directed toward another YouTuber, the channel The Old 1911. He is currently kind of doing research and trying to figure out whether he wants to get a H&K USP45 or the newer H&K 45. And he just seems like a good guy. He's got a lot of information on his channel. He does some reviews and stuff, and I really came across him when I was deep into my revolver phase, and that's kind of why I subscribed. So maybe you guys should go over there and check it out. This was the revolver that I was packing around. Smith & Wesson Model 65, 3-inch barrel, 357 Magnum, stainless steel. I would like to get a 686 in the 2.5-inch or maybe a 3-inch, just so I can shoot super hot loads. This one I try to keep it kind of 158 grain, nothing too hot. So anyway, hopefully this will keep the fire stoked. He was thinking about pretty much leaning toward the USP, so I'm not sure if that's changed, but I'm just going to show you mine and go through kind of why I chose the USP and why I have it here today. So do a quick safety check. Big 45 ball. So I had a Springfield Armory model 1911 45. It was a loaded. I'm just gonna put this in there to keep it balanced so it's not tilting. This thing's pretty top heavy when you don't have a full mag in there. So I had a Springfield Armory 1911, and that for me was my full size option. It was something that I kept at home or during the wintertime. It was a wintertime carry under a coat. Road trips, I would keep it in my bag. Stuff like that, kind of a nightstand gun. Those rolls that you put a full-size pistol in, shit hit the fan option, my sidearm for when things go wrong. But I just kind of, what I felt was that I was kind of making the 1911, I was putting in a tactical roll, with night sights and this and that. It had forward serrations on it. It was a loaded model, Parkerized. It was really, really nice pistol. I was very accurate with it. But I don't know, I got to the point where for me, for the 1911, I really wanted a traditional type 1911 with no forward serrations, just basic, single-sided safety. And I still want that. I'm gonna probably get that sometime in the future. Probably get a Colt. Their 10mm Delta Elite really stands out as something I would like. But anyway, so for more of a tactical role, I started looking at the H&K because, this is what it was designed for. This is designed for clandestine operations, knee-deep in jungle mud. A fighting pistol, and that's what this is. So I decided to put my 1911 up for trade for an H&K 45 or a USP. I was even looking at a P30, but I really wanted to stick with the 45 caliber because I'm set up to load 45 on my Dillon 550 reloading press. So anyhow, I kind of lucked out. This is what I got, and I'm happy with it. So let's go over it a little bit. Empty it again. So what's appealing about the H&K USP is everything, pretty much. I might be wrong on some of these facts, but I'm just going to kind of gloss over it. In the late 80s, early 90s, H&K started engineering and developing what they wanted to be the ultimate service pistol. That's not what USB stands for, but they wanted to develop a fighting pistol specifically tailored to special operations teams, where it had a high probability of becoming not just a secondary firearm, but being used as a primary weapon in close quarters combat, stuff like that, because of its size and weight, you know. So it was designed with a accessory rail, and this is before the Picatinny rail became the standard. So this was like, you know, this is before that, so this made sense at the time. This was their own H&K proprietary rail. And they would have a light and laser module hanging off the front. But what they had eventually developed was the Heckler & Koch Mark 23 Model 0, and that was their, you know, that was the design, and then this was born out of that. It was shrunk down and tailored toward law enforcement, civilian, you know, defense, military, pretty much everything. That's why it's called the Universal Self-Loading Pistol. That's what that means, universal self-loading pistol, because it wasn't just military, it was universal, anyone. It was just designed for the world, you know. And truth be told, a lot of the special operations teams, they preferred the USP because it was smaller. And they even went to the compact. A lot of, you know, from what I've read, is a lot of military units preferred the compact because the Mark 23 was pretty big. It's big, but it's like it's a tank. You know, nothing's ever going to go wrong, theoretically. So it's just a natural move from a 1911. It's a Browning. It's like a Browning design on steroids. It's beautiful. So one thing that a lot of people really enjoy about the Heckler & Koch USP is the safety system here. It's a safety and decocker, so it gives you the option of carrying cocked and locked. You know, so you just drop the safety and you got a clean break after a little movement there. Or you have the option of, you know, going over to the safety, decocking the pistol, you know, with one in the chamber, and then you're carrying it in a double action mode. So you got a long, heavy trigger pull, kind of like a revolver, and then each subsequent shot would jump right into single action. So it gives you those options. Then you can also carry it, you know, one in the chamber, decocked with the safety on, which is what I do when I have it like stowed away in my backpack. I work with a hotel, so sometimes during foul weather, like a few weeks ago, we had a lot of snow up here in the Pacific Northwest, and I actually had to stay at work a couple days, and it was the weekend that I had got this H&K, so I was really stoked to have this in the snow because of how big this trigger guard is. So I brought this with me. I had it in my backpack while I was driving out there with my chains on and stuff, and I carried it chambered, you know, decocked with the safety on. Super safe. You know, it's just a really safe weapon. Drop the safety, and you know, you're ready to go. This particular USP here is stainless steel. They quit making this, I think, or they make it in limited runs, so it's, you know, I wasn't specifically looking for a stainless steel model, but it's just kind of what I got, so I kind of lucked out. It's a KG date code. It's in great shape. There's like no holster wear at all. There's like a little bit here and there, but so these older ones, this is like a pretty much a first generation. It's like 96, I think, 1996. It's got some of the stampings are a little different than the later models. It says H&K USP here. This here is like engraved instead of laser etched. The laser etching will wear off, with holster wear pretty easy. This will not, so that's pretty cool. People specifically look for older ones just to have this type of stuff. The sights it came with, I'm not sure if these are, I don't think these are H&K sights. I don't know. They're like green and orange. They don't glow in the dark or anything. Not a lot of wear. I think I lucked out. Some people would say I'm a fool for trading a 1911 for a Heckler & Koch USP, but for me, for what I was looking for, it just makes more sense. You've got 12+1 capacity. It's not going to corrode as much as a carbon steel 1911 will. So I'm happy with it. Take it down. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's similar to a 1911 kind of, you take out your slide stop and it just slides right off. Look at some of the insides. A lot of people they compare these to a Glock and they say, oh, what's the difference? It's polymer. What's the difference? And there really is a difference. One, this polymer is rock hard. I mean, it's hammer fired, obviously, so that's a huge difference. But if you look, it's kind of hard to tell. Let me get my flashlight out. See inside the hole there where the pin goes? Let's see if I can get this thing to... Yeah, okay, see that? See how there's metal? The Heckler & Koch USP utilizes stainless steel inserts at the stress points. So that pin goes in here like that. And that's same as in the 1911. That's what's keeping everything from flying off. The recoil operation that locks in. It locks in the recoil spring and barrel assembly. That's what it locks to the frame. So you get a lot of stress going on in there. And you're not going to find that in a Glock. A Glock uses a small little piece of stamped metal just sitting in a plastic housing. And that's really bright. But this, that's the back end of the safety pin. So that's going to have a stainless steel insert around that too, where the hammer pivots and stuff, so that's totally reinforced. I'm not sure, I haven't taken it apart, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that you're going to have stainless steel insert there. That's the pin that holds the main spring. That holds that in, I'm pretty sure. There's also a lanyard loop there. But that's, this is why you're going to be paying more for a Heckler & Koch, because it's built with steel embedded into the polymer at all your stressful points, which is pretty revolutionary, in a polymer aspect. So here's another little H&K fact. This is what you'll switch out if you want to switch to a double action only, or if you want to switch it over to the left-handed side. I forget what they call this. It's like a plate, like a trigger plate or something like that. And it's designated, and this is a variant 1, so it's a safety decocker. So, and like the Glock, it runs on these 2 rails here and 2 rails back here. Sorry, my freaking camera's fluctuating big time, but they're thicker than Glock, I think. A little thicker. They're also probably embedded deeper into the polymer. I think Glock comes out, but I'm not really sure. I'm sure someone